Some undercover cops got handjobs, and now they're suing. That's probably the last thing I'd ever do after I got a handjob. Whatever the opposite of suing is what I'd want to do after a handjob. Mediaite reports, quote, the Minneapolis officers claim that data on undercover officers is private and the defendants violated the Minnesota Data Practices Act. The lawsuit says the city failed to protect their identities as required by law, and the disclosure compromised the officers' ability to conduct undercover operations. All right, so let's pause here. They're mad that somehow the media got their names and reported on it, and now they have another hilarious quote that's like, I have so much anxiety and stress now because you leaked that I got a handjob. Come on. And what's so hilarious is this is so counterproductive. So you didn't want everybody to know your name. Now you're suing. Now it's a national story and everybody knows your name. If you didn't sue, only in like the local area or maybe the state would people know your name. But now that you're suing, it's national news. And I'm fucking reporting on it here. This is at least 12,000 more people that are going to know about this because you couldn't keep your fucking mouth shut. Unbelievable. So they say, quote, the officers have also been harassed at work and their reputations have been damaged. They've been harassed at work. Harassed at work. Really? What's everybody else around the police station saying to you now that they know you got jacked off? They're like, oh my God, I can't believe you got jerked off. That's so naughty. I've never had that done to me in my life. No, you know what they're doing to them? They're poking fun at them and saying, you idiots, you got jacked off, and then you did the bust afterwards. Ooh, bust is a bad word there, because two meanings. But this is, the way the article explains it, guys, this is just like that episode of South Park. You know the episode of South Park where, I forget the guy's name, but I guess he's the head officer in South Park. He's got the beard, and he dresses up as a female prostitute. He blows his customers, and then after they finish, he goes, freeze! I gotcha. That's basically what happened here. They're like, okay, jerk me off. After they get jerked off, they're like, freeze! We're gonna bring you down for prostitution. What the fuck is this? All right, so here's specifically what they did. Quote, on the recording, after nearly 30 minutes of small talk about tattoos, the weather, and his broken hand, Lisi, who's one of the officers, who also compliments the woman's anatomy, interrupts the massage and asks the woman if she wants him to flip onto his back. For those of you who don't know, that's code word for beat me off. She begins touching his genitals as part of a naked body-to-body massage. Lisi can be heard moaning. A few moments later, by the way, if anybody's listening to this and touching yourself, stop. I hope none of this makes you horny and go to a Pornhub page, because I'm reading it, and that's just creepy. All right, hold on. A few moments later, he says the words, repeat customers, which is the code to backup officers that it's time for an arrest. They then enter the room. Nearly 20 minutes into his interaction with the woman, court documents say, Raider, I guess another officer, pointed to his groin after she asked if there were any areas she had missed. She started to rub his genitals, and they negotiated a price for further action, quote, that would take care of him. So they're describing two different officers there who went in, they got the massage, they're chit-chatting. They're like, right there, go for it. And then, boom, boom, over. And then they're like, I'm gonna have to arrest you now. No, the way it works is the second that they offer it or the second they go to do it, you go, you gotcha, against the law. But no, you wanted to enjoy it because you know deep down it's something that probably should fucking be legal. That's what the annoying thing about this, man. There are going to be people screaming, lock them up for doing this, for doing that. No, that's not the takeaway. The takeaway is it should be legal. It should be legal for everybody. Why would you? They arrested the poor women after they beat them off. Do you have no heart? Do you have no soul? I mean, there are endorphins or whatever that, you get after you orgasm. They say, like, pillow talk and how close you feel to the person you just fornicated with. That's based on, that's science, guys. That's based on biology. There's a reason why your reward center's lit up in your brain and you feel compassion and you like the person. These guys busted a nut and they're like, freeze! You're just bad people, man. You're just bad people. And again, to draw an analogy here so you know that this should be legal for everybody here, imagine if it was murder or something like that. Like you're busting somebody for murder, setting up some kind of a sting somehow, or terrorism, and you do the terrorist attack, and then you go, freeze, and then you bring the person in. Well, everybody would go, that's ridiculous. You took place in the terrorist attack. You murdered people? And then you're going to lock up the other person who murdered with you? No, they'd say, you murdered too. You should fucking go to jail. Because that's a real crime, and we all, no matter what the circumstances, we're against murder. But for this, it's like, okay, he got beat off, he probably enjoyed it. The real takeaway should be, you don't go to jail, she doesn't go to jail, but neither should anybody else. This stuff should be legal, taxed, and regulated so that we make it safer. Look just outside of Las Vegas, for example, where prostitution is legal. How many STDs are transmitted there on a regular basis? How many are there? How much money do the women make there? Are they at risk of physical assault when they're there? No, but now, compare that to a place like Hunts Point, compared to a place where it's illegal. STDs are all over the place. The women get battered on a regular basis. You know, you have the women get paid next to nothing. The problem is because it's illegal. If you make it legal, you bring it into the sunlight, you tax it and regulate it, well then that's a little thing I like to call freedom. And that's a scenario where everybody wins. In this case with the officers, they got busted doing something a lot of guys want to do, and their only problem was the hypocrisy. The problem was not the action itself. The problem was you busted a nut and then you arrested her. That's the problem.